It used to seem so clear. You could feel the eyes of others, as if everyone was staring at you. The sound of laughter. The sense that all attention was on you. Almost like there was a spotlight shining right in your face. It made your chest tighten. It made you want to disappear. It felt so real because of those memories. The teasing, the criticism. The belief that somehow you had to be a certain way, or else, well, you might be seen for who you really are, and that felt terrifying. But here's what I know to be true now. What if those feelings were only a part of a story you once believed, once written from the past, but one that no longer needs to be told in the same way? What if all along the thing you feared most wasn't even as real as you thought? Because as time passes, the story you tell yourself can change. It can evolve. And what happens when you shift that story? Think about it. If everyone around you were so caught up in their own lives, their own thoughts, would they really be paying attention to you in the way that you feared? Isn't it fascinating how we often think everyone's eyes are on us? But really most people, they're too absorbed in their own inner world to even notice us that much. Just imagine, what if the attention you once thought you were under was simply not there at all? So, if they're busy with their own thoughts, what does that leave you with? Space. Space to be yourself, without worrying about what anyone thinks. Space to just be. That's incredibly freeing, isn't it? It means you don't have to control anything. You don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to change who you are, because who you are is already enough. It's like looking at the sky. The stars are always there, shining, but sometimes we don't notice them because we're focused on something else. But they've always been there, quietly waiting. And in the same way, your true self has always been there, just waiting for you to recognize it. You don't have to chase approval, because the right people, they'll naturally be drawn to your light. And those who aren't, they're on a different wavelength, a different frequency, and that's okay. Now imagine if you didn't need to prove anything to anyone. Imagine the freedom in just being. You see, what you believed about needing to act tough, to suppress feelings, to hide vulnerability, that was only a survival mechanism. But the moment you realise those survival mechanisms, they aren't useful anymore, you open up a world of new possibilities. They were useful once. They helped you cope once, but they don't define you, not anymore. When you stop trying to control everything, when you stop overthinking, you realise that the rush of life, it isn't in the frantic thoughts of worrying. It's in the calm moments. It's in the slowing down. It's in taking a deep breath and saying, I don't have to do this alone. I can relax. I can breathe. And when you stop racing ahead, when you let go of that mental traffic, you begin to discover something remarkable. The more you let go of the need to think faster, the more you free your mind to process and connect more deeply with your surroundings. It's like being a painter. The more you pause, step back, and look at your canvas, the clearer your masterpiece becomes. You're no longer a slave to the noise. You become the creator of your reality. Now notice this sensation of calm. It's subtle, but it's there. It's like taking a moment to realise that the world doesn't need you to be constantly on. You don't need to rush. There's no need to prove anything. The real power lies in slowing down. So you can go further, faster. Because when you embrace this calm, you open up new levels of intelligence, creativity and presence that allow you to thrive in ways you never thought were possible. And isn't it amazing to think how you can let go of those rules that have bound you? The ones that said you had to suppress, that you had to control, that you had to be something you weren't. Because now you're the creator of your own world. You're free to express yourself, to speak your truth without fear. You've come to realise your truth is valid. just as you are. It doesn't need to be filtered. It doesn't need to be hidden away in shame or fear. You don't have to protect yourself by shutting down. Imagine that for a moment. Being able to speak from your heart and knowing that no one else's opinion can define you. They can't know what's in your mind. And so their judgments, they're only their projections, their own stories. And those stories, well, they're just that, stories. You're the only one who gets to decide the truth about you. You don't need to fear rejection because you're no longer measuring your worth against the world's standards. You are the standard. You don't have to compete for connection. You don't need to win anyone over. The ones who resonate with your energy, they'll naturally align with you. You'll draw them to you with ease simply by being your most authentic self. When the energy you radiate is pure and true, it becomes magnetic. You stop caring who doesn't connect because you understand. They're just not on your wavelength, and that's perfectly okay. In fact, it makes the connections that you do make even more meaningful because they're real, they're yours. So now you can leave behind the old patterns. You don't have to wear the mask of toughness anymore. You can embrace your vulnerability as a strength. You don't need to overthink, overanalyze, or race ahead. You don't need to hide your emotions or suppress who you really are. In fact, the more you open up, the more you show up authentically, the more you create a life that's truly yours. Can you feel the difference now as you breathe more deeply, as you release those old fears? Notice how much lighter you feel, how much more you can connect with yourself and others. What if you could continue to live this way, releasing the past stories, allowing yourself to simply be, and trusting your authentic self is exactly enough? So what do you think now about the idea that you're the creator of your reality? Do you get to decide how people see you? That you can choose how you feel in every moment? Isn't that a truly liberating thought?